All right, so we do have a lot of new subscribers and new viewers. So just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Damon. This is the Mind and Matter section of our channel. This is where we cover psychology and sovereignty. So we go through things, trading psychology, life psychology, how psychology theories are intertwined between trading and life. We look at self-governance, the institutions around us that kind of control who we are, looking at staying independent from that financially, physically, spiritually, mentally. So yeah, today's a psychology video. We're going to be looking at the 1% theory. So just to start that off, everybody knows good things don't happen quickly. You're not going to wake up and the trading edge just suddenly appears or you see it right in front of you in the mirror. Things like that don't happen. You're not going to build a 13-story building overnight. You got to do 1,000 different things to build that building over a long period of time until it goes from nothing on the ground to a 13-story building. That's kind of the whole idea of what the 1% theory is. So what it is, it's a self and performance improvement philosophy that's gained a lot of traction in recent times. There's a super famous book. It's called The Atomic Habits. All these discipline gurus and all these different like therapists will tell you to read it. It's an amazing book. All the book really is covering the 1% theory. So the idea is you're not who you are based on something you did once or twice. You are who you are based on the small little things you do repeatedly every single day that builds those skills or those personal habits, discipline. So this approach, this philosophy can be applied to various domains: personal health, personal wealth, business, business creation, efficiency, all these different things. All it is, again, it's marginal gains. You're getting 1% better every single day. Like, these gains are so marginal, they're so small that you don't even notice them. They're nothing even worth talking about with your girlfriend, with your friend, with your mom, with your dad, because you're making such small gains every day that you don't notice these changes, but they end up compounding on each other so quickly that within 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, whatever your timeline that you decided was, when you reach the end goal, you're going to see a completely different skill, habit, discipline, completely different person, completely different trader when you look at yourself in the mirror. That's the whole idea. That being said, the reverse is completely true. Bad habits, poor discipline, it can make you 1% worse repeatedly. If you wake up 1 minute later every single day, you eat 1% shittier every single day, this can completely destroy who you are, destroy the foundation you've already built, and in the long process, completely change who you are negatively. So 1% theory works for positive improvements in your life and in your trading and any career, any skill you're trying to build. And it works just in the reverse with the negative as well. So how do you apply this to trading? When you first think about the 1% theory, the initial thought is, oh, my goal is to increase my profit 1% more every single day. I want to make 1% more than I made yesterday. But that's not how the theory works, because the profit is an outcome that you don't control. The only way this theory works is if you compound on things that you actually input, that you can control. So how do you apply this to trading? You choose a specific metric that you can control, that you can measure and you can build upon. So you can look at journaling, plan adherence, risk management, any metric that actually requires your input. So when you choose your metric, oh, by the way, with the 1% theory, they do recommend you focus on one skill at a time. Just focus on one thing and build on that 1% every day. I think there's no problem with doing 2 to 3 things at the same time. Because again, your gains are so marginal that it's not hard to focus on 2, 3 skills or habits at the same time and build on them 1% every day. So that's just my opinion, but they do recommend just doing one at a time. But anyways, so after you find your skill you want to work on, for example, I want to work on journal latency, like my journaling, you look for your baseline numbers. So for example, I take 10 trades a week. I only journal 10% of my trades. There's a 50% chance I make a recap video of the trades that I journaled or my outcomes. And I review my journal at the end of the week for 5 minutes. That's my baseline numbers. I need to get 1% better at this. So the next day, I journaled 2 trades. I did 1 recap video on one of my trades. I studied for 10 minutes. The week after, journal 3, recap 2, study 12 minutes. So on. And then from week 1, when you were a person journaling 10% of your trades, by week 10, you're going to be a person journaling 100% of your trades, video recapping 100% of them, and studying them for, 30 to 45 minutes at the end of each week, whatever you decide you want your goal to be. Now, someone's going to think, oh, I can just change this all in a week. I'm going to skip all this boring shit that he's talking about. I don't want to get 1% better every day. I can just fix my journaling within a week. It's easy, but that's where everybody fails. That's where everybody fails to build on the skills they have or change a habit that they want to change, how to improve, fix their sleeping schedule, whatever it is. They think they can do it fast, but you have to do it in marginal small wins. And this is exactly why this theory has become so popular. It's why it's been studied in so many research studies, because it actually works. So now think about it. You're building on your journaling metric, and at the same time you're compounding this with two other skills, for example, or two other metrics that you want to work on, like the amount of back testing reps that I want to get in for the week and the amount of time spent studying my notes for the week. My baseline numbers start at 1-2 back tests per week and 10 minutes at the end of the week studying my course notes. I fix that daily. I add 1% more to my back tests every day, 1% more to studying my coursework every day. You keep building on that. And then you become a person who is taking 1 to 2 back tests or paper trades a week to practice their setup, studying for 5 minutes at the end of the week, to a person who's taking 14, 20, 25 setups per week, whatever you decide your goal is, and studying 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours. So again, you build all these things slowly, compound 1%. I keep repeating the same thing over and over again, but that's what it is. It's all it is. It's just small marginal wins daily, compounding on each other to build a different person. And again, it sounds so boring and so many people are going to want to skip it, but it's the truth. It's science. It's what it works. Now apply this to your personal life. So again, we always try to intertwine everything together, personal and trading life. And most of the time when I talk about personal life, 90% of the time it's going to go back to biology, enhancing your biology, your discipline, things like that. That's what's really going to control your nervous system when you're trading, when you want to build a skill, when you want to work under pressure. So for example, you want to work on your sleep. You wake up at 10 a.m. every single day. You want to wake up at 6:30 every day. So many people are going to say, okay, I'm just going to grind it out for 2 days, wake up at 6:30, feel like shit, and it's going to work. It works for 3-4 days. Their circadian rhythm completely crashes, and then they just go back to their shitty sleep schedule. When in reality, all you have to do is pull it back 5 minutes every single day, 1% every single day. 10 a.m., 9:55, day 3, 9:50, day 4, 9:45, day 5, 9:40. Keep building on this. And a habit that you try to change 20 times, failed every single time within 3 days, is slowly going to build itself over a period of 21, 28, 35, 42, whatever amount of days or weeks it takes. It's slowly going to build itself and it's going to sustain itself, which is the important part here. It's actually going to stay with you. You're not going to crash. You're not going to go back to your old habits. So again, it's about the 1% daily gains. And why is this so important to want to continue to build not only on your trading, but on yourself 1% every day? Because a person with no standards to continue to build on themselves or to continue to build on their skills is a free person. What that means is they're moved by whatever's loudest, whatever pays, whoever's selling it, moved by instant dopamine, dreams with no direction, and thoughts curated by whatever the algorithm gives them. The importance in understanding your goals and the stakes to get there, this is what Orochi is about. Building a framework, whether in trading, sovereignty, psychology, outside your life, inside your trading career, grinding, getting your reps in, building off your trials and tribulations, getting 1% better as a person and as a trader every single day. Self-governance is the most basic form of sovereignty and psychology there is. A 1% daily standard, all that is a promise to yourself that you're going to take your time, make small wins, improve your life with nobody, including yourself, noticing these changes until all those gains compound. And within months, a year, 2 years, you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing a completely different person and a completely different trader. This is exactly what the Orochi framework is about.